Hello there, welcome to Work Tips Pro. This is where we help professionals like you stand out among their peers. My name is Mukhtar. Today we're going to be talking about how to be more diplomatic in your speech, how to be more delicate. And you can do this without sacrificing the meanings that you're trying to convey. Some people prefer a more direct style of communication and others don't, and there are advantages to both styles of communication. Being diplomatic is not needed in every situation. For example, if you are in an emergency situation, you might want to get straight to the point. You might want to be more direct. I would argue that even if you prefer a more direct style, a more blunt style of communication, I would argue that there are times where you need to be more delicate. And this is not being flaky or weak. For example, you might be dealing with a very sensitive topic that just elicits a lot of emotion. So you might want to handle that with tact. Or maybe you're trying to resolve a conflict. You want to also do that with some diplomacy. And the key is to do this without sacrificing meaning or people getting the wrong messages or mixed messages. So for example, somebody asks you, "How do I look?" And they've just finished eating a meal and there's this gigantic thing hanging from their teeth. If you say, "Great," well, that's not being diplomatic. That's being something else. I came across this quote that I think really captures what I'm trying to convey here. And it goes like this: "Tact is the art of making a point without making an enemy." Some people attribute this quote to Isaac Newton, some other people attribute it to Howard Newton. I'm not quite sure who said this first, but I think the meaning is very sound. So how do you make a point without making an enemy? I have observed some people that are quite good at being very delicate, at being very diplomatic. And here are some things that they do. Just quickly, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And feel free to share this video so that other people can benefit. The first tip is to express what you would like to say in light of the positive or the best. I recall somebody describing a project as having limited success. Now, I thought that was a very good one. "You mean we failed?" And again, the point is not to be duplicitous. The point is not to misrepresent. If the context is clear, if everybody knows that the project was a failure and everybody is feeling bad about it, you don't always have to say, "We failed, we failed, we failed." You can be more sensitive. You can say the project was not as successful as it could have been. Everybody knows that the project failed. There's no need to keep on just rubbing it in. It's just like, for example, when somebody dies, you don't always have to say the person died. You can say the person passed away, the person is no longer with us, and everybody knows what you mean. You don't always have to state it in very, very stark terms. The next tip is to use verbal hedges. Hedges are phrases or words that are used to soften your speech, your statement. Words like might, possibly, likely, conceivably, usually, or phrases like "it appears that," "we can assume that," "more than likely." So for example, if you're trying to resolve a conflict on a team, saying "it seems like you're quite upset about what Sam said" is softer than "you overreacted to what Sam said." Just like everything else in life, balance is key. You don't want to overuse this, as you might come across as being too vague or too wishy-washy. The data appears to suggest that we might be possibly heading for a cliff. What? The next tip is to frame a request as a question. So for example, your boss tells you, "Could you have the email sent out tomorrow morning?" Technically, it's a question, but we both know it's a command. It's just a nicer way. It shows that you respect them, even though you are above them in the organizational hierarchy. The next tip is to pay attention to your tone of voice. It's not always about what you say. How you say something matters as well. You might have had an experience where a parent or a teacher or an elder told you, "I don't like the tone of your voice." We can say the same words in very different ways. So going back to our example with Sam, you're still trying to resolve this conflict and you feel that Sam needs to apologize for what he said. You can say, Sam, if I were you, I would apologize. Sam, if I were you, I would apologize. So two different ways expressing different things, even though they're using the same words. So these are the tips. Again, there's a time to be delicate and there's a time to be more direct. If you want to be more diplomatic, consider using the tips that I just shared in this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and feel free to share this video so that other people can benefit. See you in the next video.